Question 1. Each week, Quentin earns $30. If he saves this money, create a graph that shows the total amount of money Quentin has saved from week 1 through week 8. We know that each week, Quentin saves or earns $30. We want to make sure to circle that information. They're asking us to create a graph that shows the amount of money Quentin has saved from week 1 through week 8. So right away, we know what will go in the weeks column of our table. They also ask us to write an equation that represents the relationship between the number of weeks Quentin saved his money, W, and the total amount of money in dollars that he has saved, S. This here identifies the two variables that we're comparing. The number of weeks, that's W, and the total amount of money that he saved, S. Then, name the independent and the dependent variables, and write a sentence that shows this relationship. We need to make sure we do all of those steps in order to have exercise 1 completed correctly. First, we'll want to get organized in our graph and table. In order to do so, we need to think about what's the independent variable and what's the dependent variable. In other words, does the amount of weeks lead to how much money is being saved? Or does the amount of money that's being saved lead to how many weeks have passed? We know that the correct relationship is that however many weeks have passed determine how much money has been saved. That means that weeks belongs in the left column of the table, and that money saved belongs in the right column of the table. On the graph, that means that weeks belongs on the x-axis, and money saved belongs on the y-axis. We also want to label our table with the I and the D, so that I know that you know that weeks causes money, meaning weeks is the independent variable and money is the dependent variable. So, I've done this step of the problem. I named the independent and dependent variable. I'm going to cross that out so I know it's done. They're asking me for a table and a graph that shows the total amount of money he's saved from week 1 to week 8. That means that for weeks, I'm going to need to show week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In the graph, I may not be able to fit all of that. You could either count by 2s, knowing that this was a 1 and add it into your graph, or if you just want to go up to 6, that's fine with me too. Now, I know that each week Quentin earns $30. That's all the information that I need to fill out the table and the graph. Don't forget that your graph needs a title. And don't forget that once you complete your table and your graph, you also need an equation. And you need a full sentence to describe the relationship. For an example of an equation in a sentence, you can go back to the example we did at the start of class.